पांडुरंग जी नमस्कार।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर, नमस्ते। कैसे हैं आप?
नमस्कार सर, ठीक है सर। आप कैसे हैं सर? आपका वीडियो नहीं देखा दे रहा है। आ गया। नमस्कार सर। नमस्कार।
कैसे हैं आप?
ठीक है सर, अच्छा है सर।
बोलिए बोलिए
अच्छा है सर, आपका देखे आज। Zenith, Samir, when he's joining?
I have checked with him. He's joining. Yeah, he seems to be in a place where the network is an issue. So it will take him a minute or two to join.
And we will start at 11. Anyway, Pandurang Devaraji is there. We can start.
Okay, so good morning, one and all present here. I welcome you all to the 75th webinar of the Saturday webinar series by Managed CIA. I'm Zenith, content developer at Managed CIA, talking about the Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. The Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship is a center of excellence hosted in the National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management. And it is one of the leading agribusiness incubators in the country. And Managed CIA has till date incubated and mentored around 300 agri startups from different focus areas of agriculture and life sector. And the topic for today's session is agritourism, scope and opportunities for startups and farmers in India. Before I invite the panel members, I request Dr. Sarvanraj to give the opening remarks.
Very good morning to all of you, and very good morning to both the eminent speakers today, practitioners, Mr. Pandurang Taware, Mr. Samir Ranjan Bardole from northeast part of the country, and Pandurang Taware from Maharashtra. Today's speakers are very unique and very special today because this agro-tourism, maybe Mr. Pandurang Taware, one of the architect of promoting large number of agro-tourism units in Maharashtra. There are more than 600 plus units, and almost last more than 2 decades he was working with agro-tourism development, and he is having separate agro-tourism development corporation also. And also it is not only supporting the farmers and developing agro-tourism units, and also he is the next level. He tries to influence the policy level, and Maharashtra state there is a policy for agro-tourism. And another speaker we are having, Samir Ranjan Bardole. He is a proud agripreneur, and he started as an agripreneur, and he was our acabc trainee. But today spread northeast like that. He takes organic farming, agro-tourism concept across northeast. Not only northeast, global participants are coming, and they are appreciating the work done in the northeast part of the country. And also there are units, organic farming model units are developed, and people are coming, and students are getting internship. These two sectors, living Maharashtra, many other states, there is no much agro-tourism units, and it has a great scope. Even agri startups, those who are working in farm-related agro-tourism concepts, they can have their own agro-tourism is a marketing concept also. Some of the startups are doing. That's why startups and agripreneurs are having great scope in this area. That's why we brought today. Today is a very special webinar also. It is 75th webinar, and India also celebrating 75 years of independence. And we continuously started this last 75 weeks. We are doing this webinar to take the agripreneurship and agribusiness and startup ecosystem information to large number of stakeholders. And maybe today's webinar, based on their experience, they may talk what are the business opportunities for the other rural youth or farmers or any entrepreneurs want to start some agro-tourism, how they can start, what are the innovative models are there, and how they can go about it. Other states, they may talk. With this, I once again on behalf of Manage, I welcome both the speakers and all the participants and my own Manage CAA team for this webinar. Thank you very much. Yeah, Janet, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for throwing light on the topic. Now we move forward with the session and invite the first speaker for the day. Our first speaker for the day is Mr. Pandurang Teware. He is the Managing Director of Agri-Tourism India. So Agri-Tourism India is a company that helps agriculture to support agriculture tourism in the Indian state of Maharashtra as a means of providing business opportunity and livelihood opportunity to farmers. Mr. Teware is also recipient of several awards for his work in agri-tourism sector. He's also a member of Maharashtra Agri-Tourism Development Committee. I request Mr. Pandurang to take over the session. I also request all the attendees present here to use chat box to address their question to different speakers. And we'll be taking up your questions in the Q&A round. The time is 11:40 to 12. Over to you, sir. Sir, you seem to be on mute. Hello, sir.
1 minute.
Sir, can you speak again?
Hello.
Yes.
Sound check, please. Sound check, please.
Yes, you're audible now. Please go ahead.
Okay. Our inspiration, Dr. Saravanan sir, and on this 75th webinar on 75th Independence, occasion year going on. So I, from bottom of my heart, I always thank Dr. Saravanan sir and manage to give us the platform to showcase what agri-tourism is and how agri-tourism is helping the farmers across India to have sustainable income, sustainable employment, and sustainable livelihood, not only to the progressive farmers, but also small and marginal farmers. That has been proven in the state of Maharashtra. As Dr. already said, that we have more than 600 farms who are generating almost more than 50 crore rupees of income on an annual basis, generating more than 10,000 employments, and also 7 lakh tourists. They are getting the experience of what actual village is, what actual traditions is, what actual culture is. So all the participants who are free to ask questions at the end of the seminar and at the end of the speech. So I will now take you to the journey, what agri-tourism is and how it is helping the farmers across India. As you all know, that farmers' life depends on 3 most important things. And today we have more than 110 million farmers, which are almost 6 lakh villages across India. More than a profession or a business, agriculture is a tradition. Agriculture is a true culture of India. And that is why Mahatma Gandhi is always used to say that if you want to see culture, if you want to see what real India is, you have to visit the villages. And agri-tourism and this agriculture is adding additional income generating activities to the existing base. If you see the other side of the story, that tourism is growing leaps and bounds in India. This is 2017 figure, but I would like to give you 2019-20 figure. More than 21.7 million, almost 23 crore people have taken at least one holiday in India in 2019 and 20. And in 2019, it is almost around 15 million people have visited India, 2017 and 19. Domestic tourist visits are 120 millions. So much of people are traveling across length and breadth of India to on a holiday purpose, on a leisure purpose, on a pilgrimage tours. They are going to see the nature. They are going to visit adventure purpose. So tourism is also helping for the national integration, international understanding, and support the local handicrafts and the cultural activities across India. So participants, what I want here, you want to say is that tourism, as it is growing, people now are looking for a different kind of experiences. People are looking for authentic experiences. People want to go and see the villages in India. People want to go and see the farmer and the village traditions. So the scope for the agri-tourism, when we wanted to launch agri-tourism concept in 2003-4, we did the market survey and found that 43% of the urban Indians, they don't have left relatives in the villages. So imagine an urban tourist, if he wants to go and see the village, if he wants to go and see the traditions of the village, if he wants to go and see the different types of crops, if you want to go and see the different traditions and cultures, where he will go. So here comes the farmer as a host, that he will allow urban citizens to come to the farm. The citizens, urban citizens, they will stay in the farm 1 or 2 days. They will explore the village culture, traditions. They will see different types of crops. They will see, go around in the villages. If there is a natural significant site, historical significant site, geographical significant site. So they are going to see all these things. And while going back, they will buy, agricultural produce from the farmer, nearby the farmers. They will buy crafts, handicrafts from the village artisans. They will buy homemade products from the village self-help group women. So agri-tourism from 2003 onwards, it is also growing in India, on an imaginable basis. Why there is a scope for agri-tourism? Because it is an inexpensive getaway. Because agri-tourism comes under weekend getaways. So weekend getaways is not that expensive. So if you look back, we all were farmers. We are all farmers or belongs to the agricultural communities. So there is always a curiosity about farming industry and the lifestyle of the farmer. There is a strong demand for wholesome family-oriented recreationals. Because today what happens is that from a child to the grandparents, everybody has something in agritourism. Farmers, if the tourists, they are senior citizen groups, they can go around on the farm, they can see various activities of the farm. Health consciousness of the urban population. Today, urban population wants to eat healthy food, they want to eat natural food, they want to eat residue-free food. So all this can be incorporated in agritourism activities. There is a desire for peace and tranquility and the interest in the natural environment. Because people today, they want to have a calm and quiet holidays. They are interested in the natural environment. Disillusionment with the overcrowded resorts and the cities. There is so much of traffic. There is so much of pollution. There is so much of crowd in the city areas that people want to go beyond that in a natural, quiet surroundings. Nostalgia about their roots on the farm and the rural recreation and educational value. Today, as I told you, as you all know, that we all belong to the farming communities, but for the livelihood purpose, we all have come to the cities. But our roots are so strong in the agricultural communities that we feel nostalgia when we visit the farm, when we visit the relatives in the villages. So we all seen that there is a scope for agritourism. We have today 15 crore farmers, 23 crore tourists, and we have seen the scope for the agritourism activities. 50% of the urban citizens, they don't have relatives left in the villages. So there is so much scope for a farmer to start an agritourism activities. Not only farmers, the agricultural institutes, agricultural colleges, KVKs, Krishi Vigyan Kendras, all the National Institute of Agricultural Sciences, Agricultural Management. There are more than 170 National Institutes working in agriculture, different crops, different animals. So all these institutes, all the universities across India have the opportunity to start and operate agritourism business. So this will not only showcase what different advanced agricultural techniques are being available in the agriculture, but you as an institute also can demonstrate the new technologies, new studies, new research available in the agricultural for the civil societies or for the common citizens or for the common tourist. So these are the basic three principles of agritourism. One, the visitors has to have something to see. The tourist or the visitors have something to do and have something visitors to buy. So on these three basic principles, see, do and buy, because when the tourist comes there, what you as a farmer, what you as a host of the agritourism farm can do. I mean, for example, different types of varieties of crops, different types of animals, different types of farm birds, different types of farm equipments. A lot of things are there that you can demonstrate. Different types of wind energies or solar energies or all these natural energies can be shown there. A lot of activities the tourists can do on your farm. They can work in the farm. They can participate in the farm, because agri-tourism is the activity which will allow tourists to participate in the working farm. And last but not the least, which is very, very important, because as I told you, farmers' life depends on three most important things. That is rain, produce, and price. And this price will give you this price. Sagar, oh, so, as I told you, that farmers' life depends on three most important things, and the three most important things are rain, produce, and price. So, price is the activity where tourist the tourist can buy from the farm, and the farmer can get the price. So, these are the three most important things. So, this is our organization which helps creating job, increasing farming community income, providing broader base of the market, opportunities for the on-farm employment, so they do not have to migrate to the urban India. This is our first umbrella organization in India, where people are, day-to-day is helping farmers to promote agri-tourism activities. And this is the survey 2014 to 17. Then these many people have traveled across the 328 farms in Maharashtra, generating 11.76 kilometers. So these are the income sources for agri-tourism for the farmers. What are the income sources? First is the on-site sale of fresh farm produce. So when the tourist comes to your farm, they will stay on the farm, they will work in the farm, they will live like a farmer, they will go around the village. And while going back, they can buy fresh farm produce from the farmer. So farmer earns income from selling fresh farm produce, from farm tour activities, farm activities, by selling craft, souvenir sales activities, on-site sale of processed farm products. For example, from tomato, you are making tomato sauce, tomato ketchup. From milk, you are making ghee. From normal leafy vegetables, you are drying them under the sun, or the advanced process, and you are selling hydrated products there, food and farm stay. So these are the opportunities for the farmer, for the institute who is going to start agritourism activities. So imagine a farmer having a 5-acre land. So in that 5-acre, if he has only one crop, so one crop takes almost 130 days to 150 days to sow and harvest and to take them to the market. Then only the farmer is going to get the income. But on an agritourism activity farm, he is going to get income on a weekly basis. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the people will come to his farm. The farmer will get his income. So that money he can utilize for the development of his agriculture. So, because the farmer's income is only 1, 2, 3 times in a year, but expenses on weekly basis. So these tourism activities will help them to earn on a weekly basis, which will support the traditional farming activities on a yearly basis. So this is the tourism satisfaction index, because out of 100% tourists, 85% of the tourists says that we are satisfied with the activities, we are satisfied with the experience, we are satisfied with the facilities and amenities at the farm the farmer is showing us. Above average 10%, below average 3%, not satisfied 2%. that is okay with us, because we cannot satisfy all the 100 people, all the 100 tourists coming to our farm. So what the agri-tourism center? So one agri-tourism center, and what is the impact of that agri-tourism farm in the village? First is increase in the local employment, because once the farmers start agri-tourism activities, he will recruit from the local community. So he will have the people working from the village, and the local employment is going to increase. Have sustainable income source to the rural youths. Today, one agri-tourism farm can be a network of supportive business income sources
Sir,
to the entire village.
sorry to interrupt. Just a reminder, you have 5 more minutes to go.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
So demand for increase on the handicrafts, demand for self-help group products, environmental conservation, friendliness of the village. So all these things can be, supportive to the farmer's income. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion is that agri-tourism, farmer feels that agri-tourism is a very good opportunity to sell agri-produce, good supplementary income source and employment, cleanliness and hygiene of the farmer's family, social respect in the family, environment and cultural conservation and enhancement. So with this conclusion of the farmers, tourist feels that it is the opportunity to get back to the roots, nostalgic feeling, buy directly from the farmers, offer good environment, education values to the kids. And what government feels that it is a good that farmer have supplementary income and employment source allied to agriculture. Urban migration will be lessened. Government wants farmers' next generation should have employable and income generating activities on the farm itself. So here, what I want to conclude is that the next generation of the farmers, unless and until they have sustainable income, sustainable employment, and sustainable livelihood on the farm, the next generation is not going to stay back on the farm. So here is the opportunity in terms of agri-tourism that the next generation of the farmers, the educated next generation of the farmers, have the good opportunity to start an agri-tourism farm at your village, at your area, that will give you sustainable income, employment, and livelihood. Thank you so much. Once again, Manage, Dr. Samanan sir, I am thankful to you for giving me this opportunity to interact with the participants across India. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your detailed presentation. I again request all the attendees to use chat box to address their questions to the speakers. You can also put your questions in the Q&A section. Now we move on to our next speaker for the day. Our next speaker is Mr. Samir Ranjan Godle. He's the Secretary General of Spply-Chain, Society for Promotion of Rural Economy and Agriculture Development Northeast. They're working to change the agriculture practices in Northeastern region from chemical to organic production mode to capacity building. They're promoting agriculture and rural tourism and helping to magnify the income of small landholder farmers. I request Mr. Samir to take over the session. So please note you have 20 minutes to go.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Jinnat. Thank you for all this beautiful coordination and whatever you have done. Thank you, Sarvanan sir, for bringing me here. Thank you, Manoj, for giving this opportunity to talk about something which is very passionate to me, and that is agro-tourism. How we enhance the income of our small, marginal, and tribal farmers through adding some services to all the hard work they do in farming. I'm going to share my presentation.
Okay, sir.
Jinnat, are you doing this, or I have to say the presentation? Try it.
So let us know what is what works with you. Can you share it from your end, or do you require us to share from our end?
Okay, okay. Just look at if my screen is coming. Jinnat.
We can see, yes, we can see the screen. We can see your
Okay.
desktop screen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we can see the presentation. Yes.
Okay, okay. Uh, So it was great listening to the architect of agro-tourism. So I'll be speaking about the things which we are doing in this part of the country, which is very green, and that is Northeast India. So my organization is called Spread Northeast, and we are working towards something called compassionate farming, which is a natural farming way, where we look at how we grow food inside the forest and we grow food for both human and animal together. We create youths into green commandos. These are all social entrepreneurs. How they come to our center and they get trained in whole compassionate farming and natural farming system, and go back and create the villages into beautiful social enterprises. And how then we add farm and food tourism by creating those villages into model villages. We are working on how we go through attracting students to agripreneurship. I call it ASAP because as soon as possible we have to do it as an activity-based learning model of this whole compassionate and natural farming system, and also how this all hospitality and we can train them in the young stage at their own villages, where they value their villages and their strength. And we also create something where we look at agro-tourism and the social agripreneurs whom we train, how they bring out changes or they bring out solutions to the community through bringing people to their villages, their beautiful villages. This is what I'm going to talk about: how agricultural and rural tourism, how we magnify the income for the small farmers in this part of the world. So this is very important that when I want to showcase my farm or showcase my village, which is very beautiful, I have to think about what is my strength. And we found that our strength as a farmer, being a farmer myself, I feel that the native food wisdom is something where we have the scope of exposing our very growing youths and kids in our urban places and also in the villages itself, how we introduce them to the local food wisdom. And agro-tourism is a vehicle which can bring out so many young people to the nature, because what I feel is what we lack today in this whole world is the touch of nature. And there is also a scope when I say that we lack in touch with the nature. I also see a scope of our farmers and the green villages to serve uh, as a potential place for the youths and the kids of the urban places, and also people from the urban areas to come to the village to cure their nature deficit syndrome. I call it nature deficit syndrome because most of our kids grow on the concreted world. So we have to look at how we also agro-tourism can help us to solve the problem of this nature deficit syndrome in our kids, and bring them very near to our beautiful villages. It's valuating the village, it's valuating the local food wisdom. And when I talk about the local food wisdom, from the seeds to the feeds, what we make, my grandma's recipe, the seeds which are heirloom, which has been co-evolving with us in our families, which has been co-evolving with us with our culture. So these seeds, from the seeds to the feeds, whole traditional system of farming, that the traditional knowledge, wisdom we have in the villages, the local food wisdom, this is something which has to be introduced to the world, which has to be introduced to the kids. And that is how also we can sustain the income of the farmers by more adding through the whatever we call it as agriculture and rural tourism. So when I talk about our strength, we mainly concentrate on a few areas which we think that when we do farming like this, we can also showcase it to the world, how we go about this natural farming, how we grow food inside the forest, we create food forest, how we reduce the conflict of the human and the elephants, how we reduce the conflict of the human and the monkeys, and how we grow food inside the forest and grow food for us, and also balance the economy together, so that this is something where the whole world wants to see. So there is something where our villages can be showcased as agro-tourism villages. Water is a very scarce resource, so we have to look at how we conserve the water. The whole farming system is based on how we minimize the water use, and also how we expose to the world that when we think about eating our food, or wearing a cloth, we have to think about how we reduce the use of water. So agro-tourism is something which we are concentrating on also how we make it into an educational tourism also, how youths, children, even the parents, even the grown-ups, they come to the nature and they learn from the big book called nature. So climate friendly, the coexistence model I was talking about, how human, the bees, the birds, the animals, they can live together. The conservation part, how we conserve the local food wisdom, how we conserve our local seeds, how we have naturally inherited those practices, traditional knowledge, wisdom about farming in the villages, and how this local food crops become a market identity for us in the whole world market. And I feel agro-tourism is something where people from all over the world, even in our villages which we have created, they come, they learn to inherit our naturally imbibed technologies, the food products, the farms, and they go and they publicize it. They talk to the peers and they bring more people and thus create a market identity and a market for the farmers. And the most important thing which I feel is very much important in this aspect is the happiness index. How happy I am, how happy I am, or how my kids will be more happy. It's just a concreted world, or it's like Saturday, Sunday. If we get some time for the kids, we take them again to a concreted Inox hall or a mall. Or I have a village where I have farmer friends where I can go and share what I know and also inherit what they have, learn from them, give them something, and connect them to the market. So whatever we do is something where we build our economy on our strengths. So this is the center, just 25 kilometers away from Guwahati city in Assam. We have created the Spread Any Farm Learning Center and the Food Forest, where 30 acres of land, which we have converted into a jungle of food, where we grow food inside the jungle. We have wild elephants. We didn't have too much of animals at the first stage, but after we started planting yams inside the forest and some local crops inside the forest, we can find the porcupines and the boars coming into the forest, how they eat it now, following the boars, the leopards coming into the forest, and thus creating a camp there, or where we call it a food forest camp. We find people trying to come here, they're staying in the forest, enjoying the nature, and also trying to learn this very beautiful coexistence model, which we, the Homo sapiens, have not to forget that we are also a part of the whole biosphere. So what we do is we create food forests through this compassionate farming. Compassionate farming is a word which we use because it is our coexistence. I told you, like we think about the microbes, we don't do weeding, we don't remove the greens, we grow food inside, we grow all the local food crops, and we bring people from different part of the country and the world to just get soaked in this whole beautiful ambience of the nature, the food, the wind, the water, and what we call now people call it a pranic food. So this kind of things which we promote there. We have created camps because when you talk about agro and rural tourism, I think it has to be different from, because Northeast is also very much famous for the conventional tourism packages. We have the Kaziranga, we have so many hill stations and all. But this agro and rural tourism is something where you have to be out of the comfort zone. We call it reconnect and adapt to wild. We call it raw. So how you come there, you stay inside the forest, food forest, stay inside our villages where we have created the food forest, and then you just also find your soul, how you can adjust and adapt to the world. So many, see, the world is moving in a very fast pace now. So everyone wants to slow down. So slow and active living has become a style now. Minimalistic lifestyle has become a style now. Loving the nature has also become a style now. So it's a very beautiful way how we can make our farmers more raw, keep them more natural, and give this whole kind of pleasure to everyone who comes to this whole beautiful villages which we have created. Youths have to take it forward. So educational tourism and agro-tourism combined, how we can give the skills of farming, the natural farming skills. So what I do is I create my green commandos. When I started this, and I see, as Panduramti was talking about, Food is the biggest industry. Nobody sleeps without food, but no farmer child also in one hand wants to be a farmer. Nobody in this world who is doing agriculture, who is studying agriculture, doing research also dreams that their kids will be farmers. So it's so important that we attract our youths to farming. And as a social agripreneur, I believe that whatever I do has to give some solution to the society. And I feel this is a big challenge that our youths are not interested in agriculture. But when we make it into a farm for soul camping, reconnect and adapt to wild, camping in the food forest, and learning about how you do natural farming, throwing seed bombs, making seed bombs, throwing seed bombs, planting inside the forest, coexistence with the animals, the young generation love it. So this is something where we do, and this is what we are also doing with our 25 model villages, which we have created, where we train our farmers also to make the kids learn about this whole natural processes. They pay us. They pay us. We advertise over social media. Lots of youths. Every month we are having two batches of around 25, 50 youths coming to do the camping and going and volunteering to work in the villages to create those beautiful villages and the natural food forest to attract more people. So what I'm pointing out is like here when I was asking them to come and join me farming, they were not interested. Just changing the name into Green Commandos and making farming more stylish and glamorized, with more nature into that, and taking nature as capital, it has become viral. And now we have Green Commandos all over the world. We have in Bhutan, we have in Nepal, we have in Afghanistan, we have in Germany. So many people now come and they join the camps. We have got programs where they are more connected to nature. We take them inside the forest, which I call forest bath. At night, we without lights, we take them to the forest. They feel themselves, they feel the soul inside. They learn to be dedicated as a farmer. Like we know the army is disciplined, farmers are also disciplined. That's why Lal Bahadur Shastri is told, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. So we train the youths in a farming style. They do all the farming activities, wake up morning 5, they do all the activities by themselves. These are all urban youths and rural youths mixed. And many of the young people come out of their mother's lap because they nowadays kids are so much padded with love. They come out, they try to adapt it, and they enjoy it. Many people tell me that youths, we have to take them into a very constructive way. Nowadays, youths are becoming like this. But whoever comes to mind, we have now in the last 2 years, we have trained 660 Green Commandos. And these 660 youths who have come to our camp and they have done this camping, they are so dedicated. They are so beautiful people. They are so strong and they want to take it forward. So we involve them in work, and this is also self-sustaining. Now we do at our farmers' place also. Level 2 Green Commando, 5 days, they go and stay in the villages. They pay the farmers, they learn. So what I'm pointing out here is the educational tourism, how we bring the youths also into the farming or attracting rural and the urban youths to farming. Agro-tourism can play a very vital role. They love so many now young people are interested in making movies and showcasing how the climate has to be very beautiful for us, the change in the climate and everything. So the interns and all those who wants to make movies and all, they turn up and they want to showcase this whole thing to the world. And this becomes for our farmers. We don't need to spend a very big advertising budget to promote our agro-tourism structures. People coming like this youth makes videos, they are YouTubers, they are backpackers, they come here and they promote it everywhere. When we create the food forest, then the trails come, like how we expose people from all over the world, people from all ages, people from all background, and then bring them and slow down their pace in our food forest. They trail in our food forest, trail in our villages, and farm trails, farm food. These are something which they enjoy. For example, I'm just giving you this story. In the food forest, we coexist with the elephants. We have wild elephants coming. So what is happening is wild elephants, they break the bamboos to eat the tender part of the bamboo. But they give us access to the very tender leaves of the bamboo. And these tender leaves of the bamboo cut into small pieces and simply sun dried by our farmers and just boiling it in water. becomes a very beautiful herbal beverage or a drink, which is very high silica content, which is antioxidant, anti-cancerous, every property is there. And this 1 cup of this on the trail, 1 cup of this bamboo leaf tea, our farmer sells at 50 rupees per cup in a bamboo, again, container or a bamboo, on a cup made of bamboo. This is something which I find that not only people from outside the Northeast or outside Assam, people even from Assam and the adjoining peri-urban, if we make the peri-urban villages, the urban people in our local people only, they enjoy that because they can connect it to their childhood. We used to do lots of jungle mela, food forest mela, like where all the food forest products are brought in, and then we used to have music, we used to have rural local sports, we
So,
used to have some
Samir
kind
sir,
of culture. Yeah, yeah, I'll go first. I'll go first.
yeah,
Yeah,
so sorry to
yeah.
interrupt.
So we do the marketing. On the trail, the farm picnics, then we co-create these villages, which we have created the model of the food forest with the local crops. Now we co-create with our villages where the women farmers come into place. We make their homestead into that. We make their farms into that. And then we train our farmers on this whole approach, how we do this. And they produce those bio inputs, and when the tourists come, as Panduramji was talking about, then they get access to the direct market. People come and buy from them, make it into a community enterprise, make it into one brand. Slow and active living is a fashion. So slow fashion is something where we concentrate on the airy warm, ahimsa silk, natural dyes, how we control and how a mother with her baby on her back with a sling is manufacturing actually a sling made up of eri, which is naturally dyed. So that product becomes low volume and high value. Community festival, rather than going to a restaurant or something, the urban people can have the scope of coming to the village and eating with the community, which is also an introduction to the kids, how they did it in the childhood. Solutions, like for example, we have broom grasses in our food forest. 80 rupees per kg farmer gets, which is a very minimum price because from 1 kg, 3 brooms are made. And one broom is sold at 100 to 120 rupees. By just creating a broom making unit and bringing tourists here, trails and all, now farmers sell directly to the tourists at 75, 80 rupees per broom. So what I'm talking about is the middlemen, whatever we have problem about the marketing, that can be also solved through agro-tourism. This village where we are working on agro-tourism, it doesn't have a doctor. So here we have started this community wellness center where we have cottages, bamboo cottages made for the doctors, bamboo hospitals made now, where doctors from all over the world come for agro-tourism. Villagers will give them good food and the culture, and the doctors in return will give their service for 3 hours. So how the villagers also developed a solution through this. And this community wellness center revolves around producing this local food crops, which are very low volume and high value, into herbal drinks and high value products, which when they go back, they buy and they have a good profit rather than selling it to the middleman. I told you about the bamboo leaf tea, how we traditionally pack them, how we serve them, and we give them in the villages, in the trails, food, then combining again, making those centers into an activity-based learning model for the youths in the villages also, how we combine both education and agriculture together. So what I believe is we must keep our green villages and love them because the highest happiness index lies there, and that is our USP, where the service, every industry is surviving on service. So I am a farmer, I grow naturally my food forest, but I also have to add agro-tourism as a service where I can just replicate my income or duplicate my income. So welcome to Spread Any Farm Learning Center. It is situated in Sonapur, Assam. This is a place where we turn the green commandos and create all the models. We teach this into the school children. Thank you very much for this precious hearing, and let's be connected through the social media and thank you, Manoj, once again for giving me this beautiful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now we move on to the Q&A round. Alok, you can take over.
Yeah, thank you, Sinath. I express my sincere gratitude to both the speakers. The session was very informative and it's have lots of elements which is useful for the person or entrepreneur who is looking for a career in agro-tourism. So we'll have some common questions first, then we'll move on to specific questions. So first question is, if a new startup is entering into agri-tourism sector, what are the key challenges he have to face in the agro-tourism? And any tips to overcome that? In your initial pathway, there will be challenges will be there. So what is the common challenges in the sector?
Okay.
I will go
Are you
first,
asking me?
sir? Yeah. Both the speaker can share the opinion. Yeah, Samisa, you can go first then.
Okay.
Please.
See, me also, I have co-evolved in developing this. This is a practitioner talking to you. So I will talk about the challenges which we have. First thing is, see, I was telling you about there is not a specific definition about agricultural and rural tourism. Many times it is confused with other conventional way of tourism. And when we talk about agricultural and rural tourism, one thing is very important that we have to value the whole culture and heritage of the village. It has something. There are so many values inside the village which has to be respected. So as an agripreneur, when you start a village and you bring in people, it is very important that also you filter your people who you are bringing in, that it is not conventional tourism that you will go inside the village and search for example, search for a beer bottle there, or search, or you go there and you take your mobile phone and you shout and you throw the chips packet here and there. What happens on the conventional tourism? So it is also like how you value and you respect. Also, you learn to respect the farm families. You learn to respect the whole how the farmers are doing so hard work and their culture and all. So even the food habit, it is more about as because we do in very remote villages in the northeast. So it is that matching the food habit of the people who come there, and also and making people ready about just absorbing the raw I was talking about. This is something which is a challenge, and how you mix, how you take care of the culture, that you don't disturb the culture of the village when you go inside the village or the farm. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for that, sir. Panduranga, sir, can you please share your view? Hello, sir.
I was little out here. I was not actually hearing the.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem, sir. I will repeat the question, sir. Question was, if a new startup is going to enter into agribusiness sector, agro-tourism sector, what are the key challenges they have to face in it, and some tips to overcome that? Initial journey, there will be challenges. So what are the key challenges in this sector?
See, basically, if any farmer or any entrepreneur who wants to come into agri-tourism, first thing first is he has to have the resource mapping. If he is a farmer, he has to map the resources, whether he has, how much land he has, whether he has the standing crops, whether he has approachable road, whether he has a light, electricity, water, whether he has the, if there are any geographical, historical, natural significance around the farm, around the village. So the resource mapping is very, very important. Not only physical resources, but natural, historical, geographical, financial resources, human resources. How many people from his family would like to participate in agritourism activities? All that thing, resource mapping he has to do. And over and above that, because the financial resource is very, very important. Initially, if with limited finances, if we start with the day tour activities of the tourism, it is welcome. Then after 2-3 years, he can go for the accommodation and stay package. First, start with the day tour, farm tour activities and the souvenir shop where he can sell his produce, crafts, handicrafts in the villages, from the women's also. So initially, my take is start small, be small, less investment with high passion.
Okay, great, sir. Great, sir. And the other question is, sir, we all know the COVID has been affected most of the industry. Many industry has been negatively affected by the COVID. So if we consider the agro-tourism sector, how it affects us and how the current stage is, because now it is in a less COVID impact level. So how is the current stage of tourism also?
Okay, now COVID is past and now we are all open. Let us not talk about COVID because COVID has given a lot of depression to many peoples there. Only one sector was alive, that was agriculture. So people have understood the importance of agriculture, importance of the farmers. They have understood that if farmer survives, everything survives. So let us support the farmers. Let us support the small farmers. Like Samirji was telling that I'm very impressed what he is doing in that part of the world, in that part of the country. Samir, sometime we will meet and we will join hands and let us see how we both can, create the change in every part of the India.
Yes,
But
yes.
After COVID, definitely now everything is open. People have started going for the tourism activities. People have started the vacations, and now people want to have experience-based holidays. They don't want to go and click the photograph. They don't just want to go on amusement parks or hill stations. Now they want to explore, experience, and get enriched about everything in life.
Okay, great, sir. And there is one specific question to you, sir, Panduranga, sir. What is your unique selling proposition in your business as competition is increasing in the sector? Because more and more startups are coming and the competition rate is getting higher side. So what is the unique selling, that unique strategy you are using to get rid of this competition or get ahead of this competition?
See, as far as Aloknath, as far as the competition in the startup is there, definitely yes. But how many people would like to have a startup in agriculture? How many people would like to have come to back to the villages? There is one Samir who wants to come to, there is one Samir who is coming back to the village and helping the villagers, helping the farmers. Yesterday, I was at the Agricultural University at GH Raisoni University at Chimwada, Madhya Pradesh. There were 600 people, 300 students from third year and 300 students from fourth year degree courses. I asked them one question: how many of you, after your education, wants to make a career in agriculture and wants to be a progressive farmer? No one hand was raised that I want to make a career as a farmer.
Oh.
So there is no competition at all. Land is there, water is there, because India has average rainfall more than 1,125 millimeter of rainfall is available. India has the largest area agricultural land available across the world. India has superhuman resource. I mean, everybody knows that. So we have everything. Any graduate in agriculture, any graduate in any stream who wants to come into agriculture, because ये धरती माँ इतनी बड़ी है कि आपको अगर करियर भी करना है तो वो आपको संभालेंगी. Don't worry about that. There will be no competition in agriculture. Let people come and work with the धरती माँ. They will give you, fruits to not only for the entrepreneur, but everybody who comes to agriculture. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Participants, those who have any question, you can raise the hand so you can directly interact with the speaker.
I have given my contact details to the participants. Great. If any questions are there, they can definitely get in touch with us.
Sure.
That is what, and yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, in this platform, if any questions are there, you can directly interact, or else the speaker's email ID will be shared with you all. You can also contact after this hours also. So we have 5 more minutes left. So
we have Srini who have a question, and then we have Mithilesh. We can take their questions.
Yeah, please, Sina, please.
Mr. Srini, can you hear us?
Thank you.
Okay.
One question is that how much land is required to set up an agritourism farm and investment cost. Investment all depends on the individual farmer, as I said, and I'm not here saying that you take a bank loan and go and start the agritourism activities. Whatever the purpose fund what you have in your hand, without disturbing your mind, because why you want to start an agritourism activity, first find the purpose why you want to start an agritourism activities, why you want to come back to the village, why you want to help the farmers. Unless and until there is a purpose in your life, objective, why you want to start agritourism activities, you will always be disturbed by the investment required in the agritourism activities. So as I said, start small, and land is not the criteria. Even in Maharashtra also, we had limitations of 1 acre of land he has to have, but we are removing that also now. small to small farmers, small and marginal farmers, because India has 85% of the farmers are small and marginal. So we want to cater to that community where because जितना छोटा जमीन है उतना आपका feasible नहीं होता है. So let 3-4 farmers, 5 farmers come together and start an agritourism activities. Alapnath ji, I have to leave for the second meeting. With your permission and with the Dr. Sarvanant's permission and my brother Samir, let us meet somewhere here. I mean, मजा आएगा आपके साथ काम करने में.
Yeah. So welcome to
leave now.
Yeah.
I have to leave now. Jai Hind. Jai Hind.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for joining, sir. Samisa, there are a few questions are there. The question is, sir, to how to establish a small enterprises in agro-tourism. Can you please brief the procedures and what are the requirements for that?
See, the best way is to start is like all the youths who have come up, who have studied something and he wants to start and do something in agro-tourism. This is the most easiest way because what you can do is you can create a social enterprise. You just have to create a village. You have to take the villages to a certain idea. You create the idea, then implement that. You don't have land. I don't believe that you should have a land. This is the best way how we can be the bridge between the farmers and the market, right? So what you need is you just have to have a very beautiful idea. Then nowadays there are lots of even the Green Commandos training course which we provide. How we train them on how they do it. You can take that kind of trainings, or there are so many incubation centers coming up who are also starting up this whole idea how you make your idea into something which is very beautiful and take it into social enterprise. Tourism departments also have got their beautiful. They have got their financial support also for establishing those beautiful ideas which you create, which has to be unique. Only thing is you have to go and convince them. The challenge here will be more into how you describe them, that how it is different from other tourism ventures. So how you showcase it. That is something which is very important, and you can take up that. Like the livelihood mission, for example, the livelihood missions, National Rural Livelihood Mission, State Rural Livelihood Mission, they have also got provisions where they can help you in creating those beautiful, for example, if you want to create some mud houses in the villages or create some horse farmers, you want to create, so all the infrastructures which you need. So these are there are lots of line departments which work together. It's your convergence how you do it and go to it. I don't prefer that you take some loan. You just have to take nature as capital. If you ask me what is our USP, we call it local people, local food, and local economy. How we make them conserve the local seeds, how they consume for nutritional benefit, and they make their homestead into beautiful gardens, then commercialize it through the agro-tourism ventures. That is the model. How we can look at how we can sustain those people, and also we can start up. Even I started with zero budget because what I needed to do is go to the villages, do extension about the ideas, convince the villagers, create the beautiful villages. Then social media and everything is so smart nowadays. You just have to create the stories of the product, and then it goes. For example, elephant and human being coexistence in a food forest. Many people just put on your Facebook thing, and you will have so many inquiries where people will want to come there and enjoy that. So it's a very simple way of doing it. How you organize, how you build the rapport and the empathy with the villagers, organize it, create a beautiful model, make a story out of that, then take it to the market.
Okay, thank you, sir. Very valuable information, sir, and very well answered. Thank you. So, Midulesh, Midulesh, you can ask your question directly. Midulesh, you can unmute and ask the question. I have seen that you have raised the hand. Shashank, can you please unmute him? Midulesh.
Yes, I can. I have done the unmuting.
Thank you very much, sir. It was very informative session, sir. Thank you very much for arranging this type of program. Sir, I have my own FPC, farmer producer company. having around 550 farmers at present. We are distributed in 4 district, neighboring district. I am from Varanasi. Actually, this idea of agro-tourism came, I am agriculture graduate from Banaras Hindu University and postgraduate from there also. I had idea to start this agro-tourism, but the limitation what I read was ki I have to build my own farm, like 1 acre, 2 acre farm, 3 acre farm. I have to set up a ideal space for the thing. I have to promote tourists to come there at my farm. It is very like this. The main hurdle was that ki I was till now, it is just my idea, but today's program was very amazing. My question is ki, is there any permission required from government also to start this agro-tourism?
Yeah, see, Mithilesh, right? Mithilesh, one thing is you have understood that you know don't need a land for yourself. You just can create your villages land into beautiful showcasing thing where you can take people. I started like this. I started a program called Yatra, which is called Youth Attraction to Rural Agriculture. I took youths in the buses and we started moving around the villages and they started paying me for that also and paying the villages for the food and stay also when we exposed them. And the permission, yeah, you said you are already an FPO. So I think the
Yes.
FPO can take this. You don't need any permission for this agro-tourism ventures which you have to do. And the FPOs itself, as I, I told you that everything which you are producing, you need a service also added to that. So agro-tourism can be a service part of that. And make it very simple. It's not building a very big resort or investing money. People coming to villages doesn't want to stay in again urban urban style of all that marble and tiles fitted buildings. It is more the farmers' raw lifestyle. So build those kind of things, and farmers will be hospitable for the people. So there is no rule for inviting guests to your house. They are just inviting guests to their house. So it can be very simple also. And if you want to go in a bigger way, then yeah, then you need some registration. With the, for us, we have to do registration with the Assam Tourism Development Corporation, which is called ATDC. So there also you can go and you can just register that and then you can start the activity.
Okay. Okay. So we will take one more question. Mukesh, can you please unmute Mukesh? Shashank? Yeah. Yes, Mukesh, you can ask the question directly to the speaker.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, Mukesh. Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So my question: how far this has taken off in the rest of the country? We know that Samir is doing in the northeast of the country. Can if anybody, I know that Bangalore and all, some people are doing that actually. For the people who are working in big companies and all. So is there any established big companies, or we can start it as individuals? That's my idea.
What I can tell you, Mukesh, is even I have started few farms in Karnataka. Like I have started a center in Kumta, where this is a retreat center, and there also we have started some. This needs something where you showcase about agriculture. So it's around we are doing some raised bed there, how we make the raised beds and grow vegetables for all the people who come to the retreat. So I have started another one in a place in Rajasthan called Noka. So these are coming up now. So lots of initiatives has been started. Farm trails are started in many part of the north also, which has come up. But I think more emphasis is needed to see. The major thing which we have to look at, Mukesh, is if I want to start somewhere, like Pandurangji was also telling us, we have to look at what is the local strength which we want to strike on, because we have to showcase them something which is very natural, which is very local, which is very cultural. So if you can spot out this kind of thing, then I think this will be made. Because there are two kinds of agro-tourism which I have found now. Like for example, somebody is having a big hydroponics farm. Somebody is having a very high-tech greenhouse and that kind of farm. And some might be very rural structure. But what I found is when I talk about the international people coming to us now for this, they are more interested about the rural structures, the very low cost structures and the low cost cultural thing we showcase. Because they don't want to see, I have found that they are not so much interested to see a hydroponic big farm. The interest they show in just going to a village and looking at how this some very beautiful cultural thing is coming up. So yeah, there is I think some North India, a few initiatives are coming up, but as compared to ecotourism or other conventional tourism, this is slow. And also, I was also taking it up with the tourism department that there has to be a very specific definition about the agriculture and rural tourism. I told you the biggest challenge here is how we match the culture of two kind of people coming to a village, right? And the villagers and also the urban people. Sometimes some conflicts may come up because of some behavior which we do in tourism. So that is how I think now it is starting up and people are picking it up. So more farms will be coming up.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. So due to the time limitation, we are going to wind up the program. It's already past 12 o'clock. So thank you. Manage CIA's 75th webinar on agro-tourism scope and opportunities for the startup and farmers in India has come to an end today. So I believe that the webinar has turned to be practically useful, implementable, and it's did it help to understand the scope and opportunities, challenges in the agri-tourism sector. So hereby on behalf of Manage and Manage CIA, I express my sincere and profound gratitude to the speakers for investing your valuable time for delivering such an informative and effective session for our participants. It is more like a guideline to new agripreneurs who are looking forward to set up an enterprise in the agro-business sector. So thank you very much, Mr. Pandurang Taware and Mr. Samir Rajan. So I extend my vote of thanks to Director of Agriculture Extension Manage, Dr. Sharavana Raj, for his immeasurable support extended for conducting such webinars and other events and programs under Manage CAA. And also spread my gratitude to the entire team of Manage CAA for their coordination and effort for conducting the webinar. And most importantly, very prominently, I extend gratefulness and profound gratitude to all the participants for joining with us throughout the session, inspiring us to come out with more similar events. Thank you all. Wishing you all a very good day. Stay healthy, stay safe. Thank you all. Thank you, Samir sir, for the wonderful session and perfectly answering all the questions. It means a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.